So one of the advantages of building a character like this where we've got a shirt and it's not a seamless character is the fact that we can end the neck and it doesn't have to connect seamlessly with a body or anything. Whereas if you had a character that, for instance, didn't have any clothes on, like a creature or something like that, and you're building the head, a lot of times that's going to have to seamlessly work itself into the body and you're going to have to match the topology. But in this case, all we have to do is create a neck that will extend down into the shirt. And the neck really is just kind of a cylinder, and we don't need to be too concerned about the resolution. So let's go ahead and figure out where we need to kind of draw this neck down from. So I can come in and start to select some of these different polygons here to figure out the best place from which to extend down the neck. Okay, and it's really coming all the way kind of down in here. And so you get something along those lines, and you can start to extrude that down. Now, because of the resolution and the shape of this, if we start to extrude this down, it's going to come down as a basically a kind of a rectangle shape. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get that rounded neck. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete those. And I'm going to try to round off this connection area a little bit more. So kind of bringing these lines down, I'll kind of take these and just these on the sides here and just kind of scale them out a little bit. And we'll do it like we did with the arms and legs, where we'll create the shape that we want and then connect it rather than trying to extrude it off and then make that conform to a particular shape that it's not. It's sometimes easier to create the initial shape and then connect it, just as we did with the arms and legs. So looking at this, we can see that it is, let me go ahead and isolate this, so view selected. You can see that it's fairly high resolution. If we count these up, it looks like we have about 18 lines coming around here. So let's go ahead and create a cylinder. And I'm going to turn off isolate. Go ahead and bring the cylinder up into position here. Let's go ahead and increase the radius of our cylinder. Let's take our subdivisions down to 18, and then we can go ahead and start to get it kind of in a rough position here. We can go ahead and delete the faces on top and bottom. Okay, and then let's take that top, kind of bring it up towards the opening, maybe not all the way, kind of increase the scale a little bit. Let's start to add a little bit of resolution in here, so we can insert an edge loop and then use that to shape the neck at that particular point. Kind of bring that forward a little bit. Down here, as it comes down into the shirt, we can kind of start to enlarge it as it sort of connects into the body. Maybe rotate it down a little bit. So something more like that. All right. And then we can look from the front. Okay, it looks pretty good. We may want to narrow it in a little bit. Now let's go ahead and take both of these and combine them together. Oops. And I'm just going to delete the history real quick. Let's take both of these edge loops and let's just do a smooth, we'll try a smooth path and do a couple of divisions here. Okay, let's take the offset and wrap that around so it's maybe a little bit closer to what we want. Take the divisions down. It's getting us some results that we don't necessarily want. And seeing that this is kind of the center line, I'm actually going to go ahead and take this, and you can see because we've added 18, that's no longer in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and actually just take these polygons and let's rotate them so one of those lines is in the middle. Okay. And I'm actually going to take, and let's separate this out again. So that'll give us just this bit here. And I'm going to delete the ones on this side, just so it's symmetrical. And let's snap those to the center line there. And then we'll mirror that over. So now we have a line right in the center. Let's repeat that process now. So hopefully that'll match up a little bit better. This time we'll do a linear bridge. And let's just do maybe, one division here. And let's offset it. Offset that so the middle is coming right down to the middle. Alright, and then we can come in with our sculpt geometry tool. We've got reflection turned on. We can come in and start to smooth out the area where this neck is supposed to connect in. We still want a nice kind of hard edge, harder edge under here, but we can come in and sort of smooth that connection out a little bit. Makes it look a little bit better, a little bit more organic, like it's coming out of the head there. And we can again smooth this to see what it's going to look like. We can come in here. Again, we have hair here, so that's going to help define the shape. But we can come in, for instance, under the neck, and if we're not getting the right silhouette, we can come in and pull this down a little bit. Alright, so now we have this hollow opening that we've added to the head to connect it down to the rest of the body. And again, all it has to do is extend down into the shirt, because we don't have to connect it seamlessly with any other geometry. Go ahead and turn off soft select, and I'm just going to scale this in a little bit just to give it a little bit more shape versus just being a straight kind of trunk there. If you want to, you can create, in a more realistic human, you'll have kind of the neck shape and muscles coming down. And if you want to create something like that, it kind of come down from the ear and kind of down and meet at the center of the clavicle there. You could also start to add things like maybe a hint of an Adam's apple on a male character here. Maybe start to bring this geometry in on the front of the neck a little bit, and just start to add a little bit more shape to it. Alright, so now that we've got the neck built, the next thing that we want to do is build the interior of the mouth. If we're going to make it so he can kind of open his mouth, and we can animate that, and he can talk if he needs to. So we need to have an interior of the mouth, and that's a little bit hard to get to, so we'll look at how we can start to build that. So go ahead and do that next.